Alright peeps, so you're confused about this game too. Well, believe me, I'm more than confused about this game than anyone on this planet. Or is it that the planet is confused about this game? Overwhelmingly positive, 70%, Donkey doesn't like that game.
Why does he look like that? What happened?
And they bought their Sonic Frontiers off Wish. At this point, nobody knows what the hell is happening. Now, I've been gone for some time, ever since college started, but I left with a few videos about Sonic and one hopeful video about Sonic Frontiers.
Sega, listen to me. Don't screw this up. You can fuck up Prime, you can re-release Sonic 3 with no widescreen, fine, you can even make Sonic Floss again, but at least don't mess this game up. Don't you shatter my hopes and dreams again.
So, was I disappointed? Here's my initial reaction to beating Sonic Frontiers day one after spending the whole night beating it. I'm speechless, wasted potential all around. Game has tons of good moments clouded with L's. 6 out of 10, they tried, god dang. I absolutely hated this game. I felt exhausted, used, ashamed, and humiliated. So much promise just for this. I had a notepad with me and wrote each and everything that rubbed me the wrong way in the game, and the list just kept growing. Enemies dying either too fast or not fast enough, cyberspace feeling like there's a ball and chain on you when you boost, the Azure boss in the first level feeling finicky as in it isn't glitchy, but you will notice that you need to be on the game's good side to beat it. The Cocos you turn in to gain speed and ring upgrades were inconsistent while also barely doing anything. Like I could find 40 of these motherfuckers and then I would only get 3 points in the speed, and that shit is out of 99. The puzzles revealed the map in assorted pixels, which didn't feel right first of all, and it would overall cause more confusion navigating for me because it's not spreading out in a circle, it's in a random places that you kind of don't care about. Also, the puzzles aren't hard at all. Literally anyone can figure these things out, and some of them are just so blatantly dumb. It's just holding right in RT. This isn't a challenge. Why can you parry for an infinite amount of time? Like that's just not physics! For an antagonist, this character was barely antagonizing. For the casino thing, they don't tell you that there's a button to make the slots go faster, so for my entire playthrough, I would get irritated at how long this lasted and how barely it would take my currency to play. One of my biggest issues was that the pacing felt so off. It was like one step forward and one step backwards. Memory tokens are needed to progress the story, so I would collect one for one cutscene with Knuckles, then I have to go back to scavenge for more, then go talk to Knuckles again to get another cutscene, then go back to scavenge the map, then go back to him, repeat this process until I get the green light to collect the Chaos Emeralds. For a good while, I played the game in this annoying fetch quest manner until I started to collect them in bulk to cut out the scavenge parts. But even with collecting them in bulk, it still feels like you're there for hours slaving away for a dice roll of getting a meaningful cutscene or pointless dialogue.
I mean, it's grassy.
On top of all of this, when you do end up getting past all these annoying cutscenes, there are weird mini games they make you play, which the worst of them all for me was the pinball one, because it wants you to get so many points, but it's pinball, so you have no control over anything after that pin hits it. Tell me why Sonic Spinball did this way better, and I had a whole video complaining about the game. And finally, for my second to last biggest complaint was the ending. It was so dog shit. You think I'm joking when I say that this is the final boss, and there's no end game, so it pulls a Breath of the Wild and boots you back before you beat the final boss, which I'm not a fan of, to be honest. It makes sense, but it kind of makes you feel like you literally didn't do anything. Everything you did in that final boss was pointless and there's nothing you can earn after for beating it. And some more rapid fight issues that are included but not limited to enemy variety, homing attack halts momentum, ring dash tweaks out in cyberspace, pop-ins, obviously, beating puzzles halts the game for like 10 years, can't escape from 2D sections open world, nighttime only puzzles that have no purpose for being at night, bosses halting gameplay every time they appear, drop dash hard to use because of how stiff it makes you, pop-ins again because why not? 6 out of 10, man. I was in my friend's DMs telling them to be careful with this game. I was even suggesting people who purchased the game to consider refunding. I was a victim of Sonic Frontiers posting a my experience with Twitlonger. There were just so many issues, it seemed like the game was irredeemable, so how did a day later I ended up posting this? It's actually fun. My first playthrough was rushed and I was lost a bunch, stuck making pennies worth of progress for long points of time. It was frustrating to say the least, and the ending of this game is weird, but I shouldn't have been upset about it because it's different. My second playthrough was fast and enjoyable because I was constantly zooming through, making progress and doing fancy combos 24/7. Overall, this is a W game, 8 out of 10. Going from this to this, I would have thought that Sega was holding a gun to my head telling me to post this. So yes, I 100%ed the game and proceeded to beat the game a second time by avoiding my mistakes I made the first time. I was overstocking on keys and memories before proceeding through the story, 3, actually having fun trying to speedrun cyberspace levels, cough cough 1-2, and this time I didn't upgrade anything. I beat the game with 0 stats improvements because I wanted the boss fights to last longer, except for a few, so I avoided them. So you could say that I actually played the game the way I wanted to play it, and
I liked it. I was good at it.
so the question is, can I really say that the game is for everyone? Can I recommend this game to anybody that seems interested in it? And the answer is yes, surprisingly. I think it's a fun game to pick up and play, and the supersonic fights are 100% worth the struggle that you might find in the open world. But like in a 6 out of 10 review, it's just clouded with a ton of minute issues that just makes you grind your teeth trying to finish it. And when you do end up finishing the game and are presented with this, which is just a souped up version of the minigame you've already done twice, you can't help but ask, are you wrong for not finding this appealing? I get that this is not bad at what it's doing, but why the fuck is this the final boss of a Sonic game? After having a cool boss fight with Super Sonic, you know, doing all this like, how do you get here? This is so weird. It would have been so much cooler to fight the Death Egg or something in space as 3D Sonic. This is what I really meant by wasted potential. The game as a whole is far from a waste of potential. There were a ton of good things I like about it, but there's just a few things that really just rubbed me the wrong way. But speaking of good things I like about it, here are a list of undisputedly good things about this game. The combat is so much fun when enemies have a ton of health. For the people who complain that this is just mashing buttons, then that's your fault because you didn't want to switch it up and try chaining things together. Even the side loop in combat is fun as hell to pull off because you're combining dodging and attacking. The controls in this game are actually really good. In fact, someone was able to draw a loop in cursive with the Phantom Rush just to show how fluid everything is.
Good job, Sega. You finally did it. You made a good game with good controls!
The music is probably one of the most strongest points of this game ever, but you know, it's a Sonic game, so you can't go wrong with the music. The music is just so good. Please just, oh my god, it's so good, so good. They even let you have a whole app just to listen to the music and also look at all the concept art. That's just a really neat thing about this game. But besides that, optimizing the cyberspace levels as much as possible for speedrunning is a super enjoyable thing to do for a couple stages. Costumes are cool for this game. The callbacks, albeit quite on the nose, are fun to hear as a long-time Sonic fan. This game ties everything in and confirms a lot of the canon continuity, which a lot of the older games didn't do. Even though the story collectively blows, you'll hear many people agree that the little character interactions are what makes the game neat story-wise. And finally, above all else, Super Sonic, baby! God damn! Call it clunky, repetitive, I don't give a fuck. This is the epiphany of raw. Wait, I didn't actually meant to say Super Sonic. I meant to say fishing! Fishing sweet! I love fishing, Charlie! I love fishing! I'm gonna have a headache. I encourage you all peeps to try out this game and form your own opinion on it because there's a ton of different thoughts in this game right now and maybe you might come out differently on the other side of playing it for better or worse. So go get that opinion made to add on to Twitter arguments and maybe you'll find a new frontier of wanting to
Review bomb the game.
Probably gonna hit that don't save changes again. Used to write a song a day. It's just that lately my perfection's in the way of me and I can't make no changes to save me. Wish I could write more and care less. Wish I could write more and care less. Write more and care less and care less.